board member issues. Does anybody have any board member issues? Okay, you want to talk about, there's not a, focus, Randy, he wants to talk about the Clifton Fine thing, but first, yeah, Randy,
There's
we
a lot
want
of
to.
people here that didn't know about it. It's a good time to
Right.
start being open and say,
Yes.
this is,
Right.
if
Yes.
if you've heard this is what it's all about. You know?
First of all, we have Randy's email. Do you want to talk about your email, or ask your questions? Let's go ahead and ask your questions. We can talk about it. Your first one was that we should build our budgets as a zero-based budget. And Ms. Kelly and I got together and talked about, 'cause obviously I'm not a budget expert, but she tells me that most of the budgets that are presented to us, even though they are at this point just rough drafts and will be changed many times, are zero-based budget. But that there's no way, I'm sorry?
That's not, the transportation and the building grounds are not zero-based.
Okay, right.
From that point forward, they are.
Okay.
I was gonna
Not,
say except.
because those are, we know there's got to be cost component immediately. To have buildings
There's certain
standing,
knowns.
to have bus moving. That's why those particular budgets aren't zero-based.
Okay.
Both the administrators will tell you they have already been told to build a zero-based budget, to start from there. Same with athletic, when we get into that to some degree, it won't be zero-based. We know there's uniforms, and we're on a cycle. So some of those things, you just can't start zero. It doesn't work that way. But I feel like when you kept asking the questions throughout your email, is that you didn't hear the part where we said, this is the beginning of one proposal.
Right,
And then
and
once we get costs, I mean, you brought up, heating, electricity. Until we get those exact amounts, we can't drop them.
I understand. And I'll ask the same questions on the transportation budget. I mean, I'll have the same questions again, but maybe they're better answered when we come to a more detailed budget. I mean, I'm not saying that we need to jump and start running towards this right now. I'm just getting my thoughts out there, so you have time to think about them, and when we come to more detailed budgets, we'll have.
Frank's here to talk about the bus issues you're talking about. And the red tagging bus, and work on the bus.
That was.
That wasn't his
That was-
stuff.
No, that was Matt. And some of
We
these,
did prepare and took about 7 hours.
Mhm.
So it's very hard when someone comes, asks questions, and then doesn't show up.
I can't speak for Matt, but.
No, you can't, but I'm just saying, people don't realize when they're asking questions, sometimes the amount of time and research that has to go into those. And that one took us with, 7 hours today with, if you total all the people that sat and tried to answer these questions.
and like John's specific salary, we don't, that's like when we go into negotiations, is where we talk about that. Trash removal, some of these things are things that we do cooperative with BOCES.
And we'll wait for their numbers.
Right, we
Okay.
have to wait for their numbers, we have to wait for the fuel, and so is that, are you all set with that, or?
I don't have a problem, I just want to bring those things, like I say, put it on the table. I'll ask the same questions on the transportation budget, and I know that we're gonna go to a more detailed format in the future, but I just want to get those thoughts out there before we did it. So, those types of things that I'm curious about, interested in knowing.
But what we're trying to make sure that you understand is we're not ignoring when we don't answer.
Oh, I know.
It would take, to try to explain this other than they will be prorated fixed once we get numbers. The mower, the only reason John, and I think he is still there, he put his mower on because if you want him to go further, he will, to get bids, to get state contract, to get locals.
I understand.
But if people right away say no, that's a lot of time wasted and invested. Right? So if people want continual proposals for a mower, John will do it, but we didn't get a yes or no from the board.
So-
Those are the type of things.
So I know that at the meeting we talked about, these are preliminary budgets, they're the initial drafts, and we'd have a chance to talk about them in more detail when we get some more detailed numbers. I'm good with waiting until we get more detailed numbers to talk about these things in more detail. I'm not saying we have to short circuit the process. I'm not looking to do that.
I'm wondering if you ever when I first came on the board, and for all new board members, Rocky would invite us in to sit down with him for a couple hours and go over some things and ask questions to help just understand the way things were done. And I'm not sure if in the switch over, if that's something that Carol has even had time to do. I'm not, I know you're stretched as far as you can be
You just saw the
stretched.
deer in the headlight there.
I know. I looked at her and I thought, oh no, sorry. But that's something we used to do that helped a lot, so, or if even, you know, even if Carol's not available, just make an appointment with Sue and go in and, just, I don't know. It was just really helpful for us to get to understand the way a lot of things were done, especially if you haven't even been through one whole budget year yet, then. So I'm just
Rocky
throwing
was
that
very,
out there.
was very patient with answering
Oh.
very simple questions, so people that
Person.
don't have a lot of background, you understand, that was the nice thing
So you
about
have
that.
to accept that.
I'm open for the month of June.
I cleared my calendar.
Okay, while we're doing board member issues, is this a good time? It has to be a good time. We need to set a meeting for our goals, to work on our goals. I know we,
Do you do a motion to appoint Mr. Clark?
oh, where is that? Yes. Kay is leaving now, so can I please have a motion to appoint Ron Berg as acting clerk for the remainder of the meeting? Oh, Mandy. And Randy. Oh, Chris, sorry. You're giving that opposite
Yes.
side to me. Yeah. All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried, thank you. Bye, Kay.
Thanks, Kay.
Okay, we really need to get our goals done, and I know we talked about working on a mission statement and our philosophy statement, but can we just have one meeting? I'm wondering if we can just do some goals, because all the administrators have their goals, and we still don't have any. And I feel like if we could just get our goals on paper, then we could move forward, with the, mission statement and philosophy and all that. Carl, anybody have any ideas?
Pick a day.
Pick a day.
Is it, type of, after evening type of thing better, or, I mean, you're supposed to find most of me on weekends.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah, so,
I know.
Saturday night is the last laugh.
yeah.
There you
That's a
go.
good objective. There's no times that we have one board meeting a month,
There's always two.
Good try.
And I can't do Thursday night. A lot of-
That'll be the summer. I mean, I'm not being sarcastic. This
Yeah.
is from now till May.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know.
We're gonna board, I mean, budget things, presentations up through March, and then we start revising them. So
I don't know if we really can wait a lot longer to do our goals, because they really need to be done. We maybe could wait longer to work on the mission statement and the philosophy, but I feel like we need to get the goals done. And we could do that in one meeting, I think. There's enough, I could think of 3 or 4 off the top of my head right now.
Can we do it like 3 hours? You wanna do it Saturday like we did before?
Who has to be here for that? Are you here for that?
If you invite us, we don't, you folks need to write the goals. They're really not up to us to write them for you.
Right,
And you-
right.
to be perfectly
I
honest,
understand that.
What I would say is you would probably
But
look
our
at what
goals
we've already written.
need to support yours, or,
Usually it goes the other way.
oh, okay.
So what I'm gonna probably recommend to you is that you do your goals for this and next year, so that you're looking ahead.
Hypothetically, it would change too much.
They're,
Right.
some of the major things are, I mean, and then hopefully the APR is done, roll out for a lot of the Common Core things, hopefully are all done and we're on the next phase of that. But I can certainly give you what that next phase is. I have that.
Okay, good,
So,
good. I work Saturday morning, so.
Our next board
I can
meeting
do
is,
that.
our next board meeting is Monday the 30th. Why don't we have a meeting Tuesday the 31st following the board meeting, or there's lots still things fresh?
No, it's not, it doesn't work that
Our
way.
next meeting's 2/6.
Yeah, because
So it's a 3-week period.
it's the first and the third.
Right.
No matter how many.
So that we have enough.
ones.
Let's go to the 7th. Tuesday after our next board meeting.
For the goal.
Or we can do it the 30th,
The 23rd or 30th,
if we don't
Because
want to
that's
do it
gonna-
right away.
it's 3 weeks between another next board meeting.
Is there, I don't even know if our next board meeting's on the 20th, because that's President's Day. Okay.
Be the 6th.
You gotta go early.
Why couldn't we just do it the next Monday?
Are you in February or January?
Oh, I'm in February. Okay, what month were you in?
Any Monday. You want to go Monday,
Any
the board meetings on Monday, but not Saturday.
Yeah, I would
Well, I
say.
can't in the morning.
How's Monday, Tom, Monday, Rick?
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Probably better than Saturday.
Yeah.
We can set it for the town,
Okay.
or whatever.
So do we want to say Monday the 30th?
Sounds good to me.
23rd or 30th, either way, is fine to me.
Let's turn the 6th instead of 7th.
Which one do you want, 23rd or 30th?
I'm fine with the 30th.
Good to me.
Seven, I think seven.
My number's gone now, so I don't know.
Yeah, Ray, I know, you just have to make it. Yes, the 30th, we're still trying to decide time. Tom, you got a busy schedule, is 7 o'clock good for you? Rick, do you have a preference, 6 or 7? Oh, okay, all right, so it has to be 7 then.
7 to 9.
Oh, we should be able to do it at 7 to 9, yeah, let's cut it off. Let's-
She didn't go to our other meeting, did she, Deb?
We're just doing goals this, no, I was sick that night, oh, we're just doing goals this time.
7 to 9, January 30th.
7 to 9, January 30th.
We're not deciding if we have time to go after that or whatever.
Okay.
We should be able to set goals,
You bet.
easy enough. I think we do.
See you later, guys.
See you later.
See you later.
Are you volunteering?
We don't,
I want to come back.
Come on, see you soon.
do we have to have a vote?
Yes. We're gonna have minutes.
Had to go over and see Uncle today because he called
And I'll be.
crying away.
Okay, and,
I got stuck. Can Sean come over and get me? Well, Sean's back to Syracuse to college. So no, I don't think Sean will help you. So,
Yeah, he's all alone still, I
yeah,
know.
got his dog.
Yeah, I know he told me last year, he had a chance to
It's
go to
still,
someplace to stay for the winter.
I think Uncle Eddie,
I said, yeah.
you know, I talked to him golf.
Yeah, I said, can't, I'm getting my dog.
Uses the dog for an excuse.
can we go ahead and do that right now so that I don't forget? Can I have a motion to have that special meeting for the purpose of setting goals on January 30th at 7 PM?
Almost.
Mandy and Randy. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. I'm sorry?
Where do you, where you gonna have it? 'Cause I have to
Oh,
announce it.
can we have it in the quarry? We can have it
So Ron, put that
in
in
the
your motion.
library. The library square. Yeah, it's called the quarry.
Yes.
Are we still on board?
Yes.
I'm dying to know this good news about the budget.
Well, the governor's proposal came out today, and we are actually getting $209,948 additional state aid from the 11-12 to the 12-13 year,
This district specifically?
this district specifically.
Wow.
For what year did you say?
For 12-13 school year,
Okay.
You said 11-12.
from
First,
11-12 to 12-13, the governor's proposal
Oh.
went up
Oh.
$209,948.
Oops.
percentage would that be?
I feel during the coming on here.
2.26.
Other districts did not fare as well.
What made the difference?
Yeah,
The biggest difference is the gap elimination adjustment went down by $193,795.
and why does that make any more difference to us than anyone else?
What I looked at within the district, a lot of them lost building aid.
Okay,
I'm not exactly sure why. I know some of the other districts that I agree with you that, got deferred building aid this July, and I don't know if that's why, because I'm concerned with some of the other districts I'm working with is, one of them, it's like $600-something thousand less than we're seeing next year.
oh my
So,
God.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were taking it away.
Well, that was building
It's
aid.
where
they
they-
lost.
It's where the
Yeah.
formula came.
Yeah.
And we got this at what, 5:30?
Between 4 and 5.
Yeah, so we were trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if this,
Now, I will say, I don't know if you know this, but my nickname is Conservative Carol. Some of these
So I like to
aids
hear.
are expense driven. BOCES aid, transportation aid. And this will be your call. I go back through and I recalculate those aids because if you don't spend the money, you don't get the money.
Right.
So the governor gets runs and they calculate the most aid that they will give you. That's what's in these numbers. I don't normally budget what the governor proposes
Right.
because if you don't spend it, you don't get it. So I usually budget less in this because I would like to say, we budgeted $100,000, but guess what? We're gonna get 125. Instead of budgeting 125 and come back and say, oh, sorry guys, we're only gonna get 100.
Right,
But
right.
I will tell you what I calculate, and I will tell you what I budgeted, and what the governor's gonna tell you you're going to get, and then that will be your call as far as the revenue side. But right now, the governor says he's gonna give you $209,948 more than last year. So right now, you're in a positive position. So, I've got good news today.
Clear.
Maybe not next time you see me, but.
well, any day's better than
Okay.
tomorrow.
One more thing, while it's still on board member issues. I don't know who wants to talk about this, but we have to, we need to set up our committees for the meetings of Clifton Time. Okay. And Lynn wants to tell a little bit about it for the people that weren't here.
No, I just wanted to, people hear that we had this joint meeting between Clifton Fine and Edwards Knox for the purpose of, and I believe how they worded it was everything up to merging all together, and I didn't see that much of what they were talking about there, but we looked at merging job descriptions, bus mechanic or director supervisor of transportation. And these were just ideas that were thrown out there. This was extremely preliminary. This was like, are you even interested in doing this?
As people retire,
Yeah.
and that's what other districts have been doing locally. So we're looking at it as a possibility with Clifton Fine at this point.
And the three topics that we brought up, or three groups that we're gonna be looking into is, what's that, Sarah? Just so I can see it. Transportation, cafeteria, buildings and grounds, athletics, extracurricular, administrative, and instructional. So those are the topics, and I think tonight's plan is that we're gonna form some subcommittees, talk about that with the Starlight people, or the Clifton Fine people, and then we kind of get back to whether it's even feasible or not. So that's all the meeting was that I was there for. So just to let you know, that's what the whole story is. They contact us.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
it was very-
contacted us, and we asked for an agenda, we went through the different topics, and that's about it.
I thought it was a very positive meeting. What we're both looking for is to save money so we can keep what we have and not lose what we have.
And
You don't know
enhance
until you ask.
education.
You don't know if the other school's even interested,
Yeah.
And I don't think they've gone that far to the, I was gonna ask, if they talked about dividing up a school district, because obviously transporting from here to the Tupper Lake line is not something we want to get into. But that was nowhere near at that point.
We're just looking to save services and and any dollars where we can to keep our own.
Well, they said, let's sit down and see if we can save money. I'm all for that idea.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I think if nothing else, if we come out with, we get one extra AP course next year, because somebody at Clifton Vine's gonna teach it, we're gonna DL it to each other, and our kids can now wrestle and or run track,
Right.
and their kids can maybe swim and
Volleyball.
volleyball, where we haven't been able to fulfill teams, that's a really positive. But not at the expense of our kids not being able to play on the team because we have too many people.
Right.
So, what I did was I took the committees, put group 1, 2, and 3. I think what might be a good way to do is for right now is send it around, let each board member choose which group they'd like to be on, and then obviously everybody can't be on the same one. But then see how it breaks out of what people's first choice would be. So if everybody puts their first choice on one of these and puts their name on a second one with its circle, and then we'll know that's your second choice. And I'm going to just start with Lynn, since you're in, and we can pass around some.